Erica, it's so lovely to have you. I had to have some kind of intro there.
So great.
We were just talking about your
Hmm.
amazing couch, chaise
Yes.
lounge. Let's see if I can
Ah,
show it. Kind of has.
yes.
I got
Ah,
my little pillows there, but
yeah, it looks so beautiful. It's so
right?
perfect that it's yours.
Oh my God. I love, love, love telling people that about you and about your work and being like,
Mhm.
oh, this was who owned this couch before me. They're like, so it's got good energy. Everyone says
Uh-huh.
that. And I'm like, it's got excellent energy,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
love
like to
that.
point out, you can definitely tell that someone was tied to the posts of these at some point because there's little.
Well, that might have been before me.
All right, so you didn't handcuff anyone while they were kneeling?
I'm not a tire-upper. I
Yeah.
believe only in doing energetic restraint play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's like
Right?
that's pretty Aquarius of you. I find that people and you have it in your fourth house of home, Aquarius, so I find that those kind of people prefer intellectual restraint. In fact, the idea of small places tends to freak
Hmm.
them out, so it's interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, maybe it wasn't for you, but it's really fun to be like, oh,
Uh-huh.
she
Yeah.
has good energy.
There's a lot of good energy on there for sure.
So much good
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
Speaking of good energy, we have you. You're here with your
Ah.
glorious hair that a man stopped you on the beach the other day and was like, "Oh my God, I love you."
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's so interesting. Menopause is just like it's a constant beginner's mind and a constant state of, oh, I thought I had this dialed in.
Yeah.
And then here it is. I have to walk my talk. I'm constantly telling people, oh, really pay attention to the negative messages that your mind says to your body. And, I'm just as part of my menopause, I'm shedding a
Hmm.
lot.
Yeah.
And, I probably have always been a shedder,
Yeah.
but it's so noticeable now. And of course, I have enough hair that it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you see it. You see the spots that are thinning.
Mhm.
And it's just been really interesting to be like, oh, here I am in that like freak out, freak out, freak out place. And what I finally did, just like in the last maybe month or so, is I started taking photographs of my hairs on the ground
Hmm. Hmm.
because I really find I've done this in the past with body image stuff where using photography to literally change my perspective
Interesting. Yeah.
and be like, instead of like, oh, fuck, there's a pile on the ground. Now I like go in and I'm like, ooh, look at the way that these tendrils are attached to these tendrils. And look at that shape and that shape. And just kind of see if I can shift it from motherfuck, what the fuck is going on? Ah, am I gonna to like, ooh, let me zoom in and see what's actually beautiful here.
Yes.
Yeah.
What art can be made? Oh my God. That
You
is
know?
so your Venus in
Yeah.
Pisces. I see myself talking when you're saying it, right?
Uh-huh.
Especially the, well, now I've got to walk my talk.
Oh yeah.
This love, this energy, this finding beauty in every moment, right?
Hmm.
Right? Becomes challenging.
It does. It does.
I heard a saying yesterday that contentment is a war hard won,
Ah, I like
right?
that. Yeah, a war. It's funny, I have a contentment on my wall. I have a piece of art that says, contentment is not the fulfillment of what you want, but the realization of how much you already have.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, that contentment, that beginner's energy we're talking about too with menopause, right? Having
Hmm.
that beginner's energy every time, observing yourself in the moment, right? Like,
Hmm.
I'm observing that I feel triggered by this hair on the ground, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
observing this. And if you can be in that, what I think is connected to that beginner's mindset that you're talking about,
Mhm.
right? Being an observance rather than it shouldn't be this way.
Right. But so interesting. I mean, and I'm curious too, like when I think about, what this year has been, this last year cycle, right? Because we always are doing this right at my solar
Yeah.
return.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of allowing myself permission
Mhm.
to kind of be in all those places of the what's wrong. It can, let someone else try to give me the answers. Let me kind of do this thing, and then I'll give myself this year to kind of wallow in that and not really walk my talk.
Yeah.
And then get to the point of like, well, that was an interesting experiment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's always observant, like, oh,
Mhm.
I am watching, like, what does it feel like to, sort of abdicate my health and well-being to the system and
Mhm.
see if the system has answers for me, which it didn't.
No.
So then I was like, oh, okay, well then, I mean, I already know the answers, right? I
Mhm.
need to, masturbate a hell of a lot more and,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
be in more gratitude and all of those things. But, yeah, we'll talk about it. I mean, it was a year.
Ugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
that remember we had that Mars moon happening, right? That we were talking about last year. It was a Mars moon conjunction. And I thought, it's something to do with like home, mothering, nurturing.
Mhm.
We can show the chart.
Mhm.
I'll show it for her. Last year. We can talk about your solar return of last year.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go to here. And then I want to go to here. Because yes, this is the solar return for this year. All right. So this is your solar return for this year, but I'm going to put it in for
Okay.
last year. So this is the year that we're kind of talking about here.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so last year we have the rising sign is Cancer, mother, nurturing,
Mhm.
right? It's like
Right.
feminine cycles, I suppose you could say. And then we have the moon, which is motherhood, nurturing, mom stuff, and Mars, who is desire and sex and also severing,
Mhm.
right? He's
Mhm.
got the knife who goes, it's time to sever, right? It's time to win, right? He's the one
Yeah.
who wants to win. And Mars in Cancer isn't motivated by winning in the normal way of, aha, I bested you, my competition, right? It's more of a fight with women stuff, right?
Mhm.
It's more of a fight with, and so I mean, I remember thinking, is this with your mom? Is this with your
Right.
home? Is this with,
All of it.
yeah.
Yes, the answer was yes.
The answer was, and I remember at the time you were like, well, I don't know. We just dealt with a lot. And I was like, well,
I know. I
good
know.
news. Yeah. All right.
Right. Right.
Okay. So, oh, and then we have Venus in Pisces, natal,
Mhm.
and Saturn here, who gives delays, right? Or gives
Mhm.
maturity. So we are learning how to be beautiful as we mature in the ninth house on a governing,
Mhm.
right? On a higher education vibe.
Okay.
How to love maturity on a and teach it, right? And like this
Mhm.
higher
Yeah.
education. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And I think, I mean, so the things that I can say is last year was definitely the theme was mother and mothering. I
Yeah.
didn't think it like when we hit it in March-ish,
Mm-hmm.
because I think originally you had said to me, "Oh, it'll be like March, April, there's going to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
something."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there
It
actually
was like
was.
farther down. Yeah.
Yeah, there was something, more specific with my mom. I think just like trying to wrap up some stuff,
Yeah.
but really the whole year,
Mm-hmm.
the 2 years ago was all about the move and getting to the new place, but all last year was really this piece of the mothering piece in both ways, right? Because I'm now living at home
Right.
with
Right.
my
Right.
mother, my sister, and my son. So
That's
I'm
what it's time for.
totally sandwiched. And my sister, I in many ways have mothered her because of our age difference.
Right.
So there was a lot that happened this last year around my identity as daughter to an aging mother
Yeah.
and that mother-daughter dynamic.
Right.
The where the mothering element of the home and home space, because the other people I live with haven't really been homemakers in their lives.
Right.
So really feeling this feeling of like, oh shit, this is all on me.
Mm.
And then really my son really our relationship shifting and him kind of coming out of his crisis time but
Right.
needing me to be that anchor and that hand to come out of the darkest well
Mm,
back up into, it was like, he was in his own Hades Persephone journey, and I needed to be the hand that's, kind of reached down into the hell and,
mm.
brought him back.
Yeah, yeah, you're the servant to Aphrodite in the
Mhm.
mythology when Aphrodite has to take off everything to go and save
Yeah.
her beloved. It is her servants, those who serve her, who bring her back, right? They give
Hmm.
up, they sacrifice themselves to bring her back. So normally you are Aphrodite, right? Like everyone would
Right.
do anything for you, right? And then this time you had to be your own servant
Hmm.
by
Yeah.
serving your family, right?
Yeah. And really, really looking at how do I have support? Do I, how, when I ask for help, what kind of help can I get? Will I, where is the part that's been stubborn,
Yeah.
and where's the part that, so then, and then the other part that I was going to say, so in terms of the Mars that you
Mm-hmm.
said, so
Yeah.
the other theme of the year
Mm-hmm.
was this last year, this last solar cycle,
Mm-hmm.
I was the least partnered
Mm-hmm.
that I've been
Yeah.
probably since I was 19.
Wow. Yes.
And I thought a lot about when we first did my chart a number of
Mm-hmm.
years ago, and there's a section where, like you showed me how my whole relationship past was, really like being comfortable with those in the otherness.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this year has just like this last year was this, it was, when you say severing,
Yeah.
it was really a period of I am done with that attraction.
Yeah.
And I dabbled a couple times. And as soon
Yes.
as I dabbled in it, I was like, ooh, no. And I
Oh, you
even,
hit me up too,
and
and I
I
looked at.
did.
I remember you hitting me up, and I looked at the chart and went, "Okay, it's not gonna go maybe like you think, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was a foot in the water and quickly,
yeah, yeah,
before I drowned.
yes,
And,
yes,
and then, I had a hypnotherapy session, and one of the things that came up was this thing about wanting to, like, I was feeling something in my like vaginal canal
oh
stuck,
yeah,
and it was this really strong image of purging
mm.
all of the DNA of all the dick
Oh my
that I
God,
had ever brought in there.
oh my
And
God,
so when you say this about the Mars purging, like part of the way this year has been for me too has been like, oh, I'm just like severing, like I'm like, like
mm.
severing old dick energy out of me. Like I just
Right,
like no more, no more, no more of what that was.
right,
So that's interesting that that's there because I hadn't remembered that. And then the piece at the top that you said about,
yeah,
accepting the aging,
hmm,
also a lot of what started to shift for me this year professionally
yeah,
was stepping in a lot more to my role as mentor and
yes,
and
yes,
trainer of, teacher of teachers.
yeah, yes,
I still love doing what I do with clients, but I'm really stepping more into what I have to offer is to help others who are walking the path, and sit more in that. I've been thinking more about really sitting in that crone
yeah,
space.
yes.
Yeah, so that's, and you had told me, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but you had told me that in fall of last year was going to be sort of taking the stage with my work
Mm-hmm.
more publicly.
Yeah, yes.
And I did. I presented
Yeah,
at
that's
two big
right. You
conferences this
did.
year, two big conferences this year.
Oh, we were all
So,
talking about it at broadcast, like so excited for you.
Yeah. So, I think you had said then after that was going to be world travel, which right now with the world the way it is, I don't know if that's how it's going to be,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Yes.
it was such a good anchor to be like, oh, look, these things are happening right when Lacey said they would.
Yes, yes. Well, world traveling, the ninth house also covers world traveling. Saturn gives delays. So you kind of know the themes of something. You don't know exactly how, but the mentor partnering and unpartnered when you say that. So Capricorn is where your sun sign is, right? That's you
Mhm.
natally, right? And when you have a sun in Capricorn or an Aquarius like I have, there is a solitary road that one
Mhm.
goes down because you're the only one of your kind of, right? And so you're
Uh-huh.
like, oh,
Yeah.
you know.
Uh-huh.
Um, so there's a solitariness to it, right? And then Capricorn is a builder. I want to make this tangible so that others can repeat it, put their hands on it, right? You make a
Mhm.
business out of it. You have to, go outside.
Ah.
So it's very solid. It's daddy energy.
Mm.
Capricorn is daddy energy. So it was like this grappling with mommy energy and daddy business energy, right? And then
Yeah.
we also have, though, it's in the seventh house of partners. So that's you in your own house, sort of seventh house. So how do I partner with myself and talking
Oh,
about that, Mercury?
wow. Okay. Well, right on.
I know. Yeah. Oh, it's really interesting. Yeah, I want to say I thought yours was down here a little bit more too,
Hmm.
right? A little bit more down here, but regardless, this opposition still exists, right? So this still exists here, even if it
Yeah.
was like in different houses. But definitely though, this is a solitary and then a coaching one. So
Yeah.
coaches who I know. Popular ones have this. They're Cancer rising with Capricorn in the seventh. It's
Mm.
someone who's going to help another person build.
Ah,
Someone who's going
okay.
to help another person um, build, thrive, take
Hmm.
steps, make lists, right?
Right.
Make something tangible so that you can climb. Is what it is. Yeah. So this was last
Last
year,
year. Right.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah, this was last year. And so then this upcoming year, which is here, we're going to be in what's
Oh.
called a 10th house perfection year, right? And so we have a 10th house perfection year happening. This is you natally. This is you normally,
Uh-huh.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. So this is
What
you.
and what
Yeah.
does 10th house perfection year mean?
So that means that you're going to be, so last year was in a ninth house, higher education, travel is another theme
Mhm.
associated with that, or teaching. And
Mhm.
you taught on a big stage. So yours was less about traveling overseas and more about educating people here,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
From a stage, right? From a big thing, right?
Mhm.
Those things were
Right.
happening for you. And that was a ninth house. So we are in the ninth house, you might have been educating yourself more, right? Found
Mhm.
yourself looking up things, going to more seminars, or
Mhm.
watching more online stuff, right? Or going to more classes, right? Or educating yourself more,
Mhm.
whatever that looks like. And now, after we have educated ourselves more and are now more with, how we believe about things, there's a better view on belief about things.
Mm.
Now we go into our 10th house of we're taking what we learned, what we want to teach, and now we're going to be seen about it. So yours is in Leo. And Leo is about taking the stage or being on the stage. Leo is the actor in a way. They can put
Mm.
on different skins to feel what it must feel like, right? To be somebody else.
Yeah.
Leo is dramatic,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Uh, which is that stage, right? And Leo can either give or take the stage, right? An actor is putting on someone else's skin in order to highlight what that person's experience is like, right?
Right.
So even if they take the stage, they're giving the stage to a character, a person, right?
Mhm.
It's the house of romance, sex for fun, sex for pleasure. It is also the house of children, right? Because creativity, because what
Uh-huh.
comes from, intercourse, right? You can create a being, right? You can create a
Mhm.
whole human being. So the focus will be so last year Okay, so we're going into a 10th house here. So you're going to be possibly taking more of the stage from in your local community,
Mm.
right? Third house. And then taking the stage with your siblings, right? It's the third
Uh-huh.
house of siblings. We know about this, right? And the third house is also online communication. So
Okay.
you might find that you're building more of an online
Hmm.
presence, building more of a local community presence,
Uh-huh.
but in a way that is paying heed to your vocation. 10th house is, what do I have authority in,
Mm.
right? I'm taking what I have authority in,
Right.
right? What have I learned in my life that now I can say, I defeated that foe. I won this, right?
Mm.
I am now going to lead. So Leo is also the sign of the lion, the leader, the emperor, the king, right? King of beasts, right?
Hmm.
So Leo is, I am a leader in what, right? I am a leader in women's ninth house for you natally is Cancer. Women's things, right? Women's studies, women's way of dealing with their body, right? That's what you have, mothering, right?
Hmm.
You have authority here. How to be a mom and sensual, right? How to be a nurturer, somebody who nurtures
Hmm.
and brings out, right? Those flavors, romantic flavors. So you're going to be teaching romantic flavors.
I love that.
Right.
Uh-huh. Come to the ice cream store.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Going to the ice cream
Uh-huh.
store, right? Every stage that is presented to you, just say yes,
Uh-huh.
right? Or take the stage. I'm doing
Uh-huh.
one,
Yeah.
right? But Leo is about leadership. You are a leader. You have learned some, intense stuff, right? So
Right.
now you're here, you're a leader. You are able to teach what you have learned on
Right.
romance, on children,
Hmm.
how to romance leaders, possibly,
Mm.
right? Because I'm a firm believer in somebody could be dark and have the cold, cold, coldest heart. And if you put a Venus in Pisces around them, that heart is going to soften.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That heart is going to open and it's going to be impossible for that person to resist you, right? Like, because you're irresistible, right?
Mm.
You have that Venus in this fifth house. This makes you dignified in attraction. It makes you dignified. It also makes you a martyr,
Uh-huh. Right.
right? It also makes you a person who is able to have a vision for what romance could be, right? Have a vision for what attraction could be, right? A vision for what it could be like with, you
Hmm.
know, all
Right.
these things. And so Venus is a heart. She's at a pedestal, right? You're born on a pedestal. The only way you can go is down and then back up. So that's our life.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Right. Right.
What happens when you were born on a pedestal?
Hmm. Yeah. Wobbly.
Yeah, wobbly,
Uh-huh.
tiring.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm tired of being this goddess on this fucking mountain. Somebody serve me. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
somebody.
I do like to be on a perch though, you know.
Yeah.
I love the view from above.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's Capricorn. Likes to
Mhm.
scale.
Mhm.
So okay, so what do you think of when you think of your MC? That's what's coming in, your angles. So
Mhm.
you are going to be, what do you think of when you think of like a stage or when you think of leading?
Mhm. I mean, I think, what's coming up for me first is just how, this last year was still kind of this clearing
Mm,
out
mhm.
of all the stuff that um, is family stuff. And
Right.
then what I've really been sitting with the last 2 months has been what has been my block? What is blocking me from feeling joy when I look at the abundance of my catalog of work? Because what I really have going, I mean, I have in so many different things, whether it's parenting or it's penis or
Hmm.
it's trauma or
Yeah.
it's masturbation or it's,
Right.
life, whatever,
Right.
soft skills, hard skills, activism, all of it.
Right.
But it's time to let the work into the world that I've been holding everything really tight. And there's a part of me, and I don't know how this is in my chart, but as I think about like where I am, and this is what I like seeing about what you just showed me
Yeah.
is in terms of taking the stage, is like you,
Hmm.
I feel like before I take the stage, because I've been a young, as a younger person,
Right. Right.
I was given the stage a lot to espouse my visions and my theories and my observations, but I was young. And I
Right.
think, especially now in the internet world of people who can just talk out their, you know, bodies without actually having embodied knowledge.
Right. Right.
I look at the work I've been doing for the last 15 years, especially around this demystifying the erectile epidemic and kind of
Yeah.
all of this stuff, and feeling like, I've been like, why am I not putting it out? Why am I not putting, but I've been like really enjoying being in my lab,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
really feeling like, okay, now I can talk with authority because I've just put in my,
Yeah.
10,000 hours of mastery. My mastery is what this last year showed itself to me,
Uh-huh.
right? That I think when I started doing more teaching, more mentoring,
Hmm.
it became so obvious, like, oh, this is mastery,
Yeah.
right? This is mastery
Right.
now.
Yeah.
And so I'm clearing off the last few family, you know, business items. And then really starting this month, my vision is to make, well, first of all, to make it doesn't have to be hard, a viable, more the front facing platform.
Right. Right.
And that's the site for, originally it was part of Soft Cock Appreciation Week, but
Yeah.
then all this last year was the renaming, rebranding, revisioning. So making that public, because it
Right.
still hasn't been a full public outing,
Right.
and
Right.
really letting that self, when you talk about putting on roles, letting
Yes.
that self as hostess of that
Yeah.
be my calling card.
Yes. Yes.
And then I'm doing more, like I said, more teaching, more. I mean, I love what you said too about local because
Hmm.
I moved,
Yeah.
right? Almost 2 years ago, and have just started to talk to other professionals in the area and network. And I've been thinking about, where can I teach some workshops in person?
Right.
How do
All
I
that stuff.
connect more to that in-person piece, so that it's virtual, but also in-person stuff. So, um, I mean, I have a list. I mean, I'm sure you're like this. I mean, this is the part of like, okay, I need to enjoy going into my vault
Yeah.
because I have to put together, oh, right, these 30 notes go with this idea and these 20 notes go with this idea. But I cleared time for myself
Yeah.
for this year to be able to put all these things together.
Hmm.
And I don't think I sent you, but I hadn't gone on the free will astrology site for a long time. But back in the day, that was in my 20s,
Love it.
that was in Willamette Week, it was published.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that used to be my great go-to astrology. So I hadn't gone to it in a while, and I
Yeah.
looked the very last week of the year,
Hmm.
and the whole thing was about, now he connected it to the one of the people who created the web and
Hmm.
designed it as a free resource.
Oh, right.
And basically what he said in this one was, this is the time to let all of your, intellectual property essentially go
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the world, because it's only by putting it into the world
Hmm.
that the riches
Right.
will return.
Right.
Not necessarily even, I mean, yes, it would be nice if the coffer is filled, but more
Yeah.
that like you have to let it go to get people to generate. So I'm really excited to be like I feel like I'm ready to put some books out. I'm ready to take some stages. I'm ready,
Right.
to be excited and to be this. See, this is the thing that I think is interesting too about what you said about the roles, right?
Hmm.
Because, I'm always thinking, I think where I've been stuck, where I've been blocked, where I've been,
Hmm.
how do I do this? Is I have so many roles. I have Erica who taught parenting, and Erica
Right.
who ran a school, and Erica who is an activist, and Erica who's an artist, and
Right.
Erica who's an erotic artist, and Erica
Right.
who's a healer, and Erica who's a sexual healer, and
Hmm.
Erica who's a
Right.
this, right? And so everything has been very like, how do I present her and also be able to present her and also
Yes.
present her? And especially because people, have issues around the hers that talk about sex and
Yes.
sexuality and these questions of, can you talk about sex and sexuality and still, educate children,
Children, I
right?
know.
And but now I'm much more, I think more and more I'm like, first of all, you got to have sex to, I mean, for the most part, you have to have sex to have kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, not everybody,
Traditional.
but
Yeah.
there
Hmm.
are ways to do it without. But for
Yes,
the
of
most
course, of
part,
course.
we're still like, I think I'm also, and I don't know if this reflects in the chart at all.
Hmm.
I'd be curious about, but just in this last shift into this solar mark,
Yeah.
something has happened around moving out of fear
Hmm.
in a way that I feel I've been trapped. Which is interesting because I mean, there's a lot to be fearful of right now.
Right.
And I've been in the like, oh, the government and oh, the this and oh, teaching sex and oh,
Right.
Project 2025 and do I want to be online and do I not want to blah, 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 blah. And I'm
Right.
kind of now at a point of like, you know what? I just got to put what I have to share out there.
Right.
And, I can be smart about it, but I can't let it block me anymore. And that's a new shift.
Yes. Um, yeah, coming out of like fear. So
Mhm.
Saturn represents fear, and you're in a ninth house perfection year. And then Neptune has to do with transcending fear. So
Mm.
we have fears around, attraction, who I
Mhm.
attract, right? Uh,
Yeah.
Dealing with those things. And then Neptune, he's at, so when we get to, and then we have an eclipse, right? The North Node going through here. So we're giving destiny. So
Mhm.
towards the end of this past year, we're having Neptune and the North Node, which is clearing karma.
Uh-huh.
It would be transcending illusion, right?
Mm.
Into a better illusion, if you will. Because Neptune is underwater, right? When you see underwater, light looks freaking fantastic,
Yeah.
right? If you imagine being underwater, you're a mermaid swimming around, things are floating up, you're
Mhm.
suspended. Can you really? No gravity,
Mhm.
right? But then also things look bigger, things sound louder, right? Noise
Ah.
travels
Uh-huh.
differently.
Mm.
So Neptune can kind of make it so that everything's quiet, right?
Ah.
But then also anything that is music, that is coming through
Uh-huh.
can be louder, right?
Mhm.
So Neptune gives, hey, do you like this water? Right. How do you feel about this water? And if your answer is, oh my God, I love it, right? Then Neptune will be like, sweet. Then you will
Mhm.
stay lifted or buoyed, right?
Uh-huh.
Pisces,
Right. Yeah.
buoyed, Jupiter, right? If your answer is karma keeps coming at me,
Uh,
right?
yeah.
If your answer is I hate karma, then it's a problem, right? Then your
Uh-huh.
soul will not evolve,
Hmm.
right? It can't. It'll be stuck,
Yeah.
right? And so the choice to evolve with transcendence and
Mm.
love, right, becomes the question that needs to be answered, right? Can you love yourself where you're at? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Can you hold yourself? Does your fantasy hold you?
Mm.
Right?
Mm. Hmm.
And so karma keeps coming up to in the way of like problems, right? If it's something that I'm getting triggered and I'm holding on to the trigger. Right, I'm holding on to the trigger, right?
Yeah.
But when the trigger comes and you come from that place of fresh, that starter space that you were talking about earlier, right? All the ways in which you learned, right, how
Mhm.
to, you know, deal with these topics, right?
Right.
Are great. Like, well done. You know what I mean? Clearing that karma, damn.
Uh-huh.
Because, when karma comes knocking, if your answer is, ugh, get away, right? Then
Mhm.
not in the right space,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
no, this is fascinating because it also what it brings up for me too when you asked, I'm like, well, I don't do I like being under like the piece of the magnification, the things that are louder, the extraneous, like what is getting in, but it's also like what is getting in the way of the peacefulness, right?
Yeah.
That's in there and how that's magnified. And I think that, part of what you're talking about really is, and this is, I think, where I'm landing now at 57, which
Get it.
is,
Hmm.
you know, there is, I'm now at the place of, you know, I'm here.
Hmm.
The journey I've lived is really the journey I've lived. It's been fucking crazy. It's been a crazy adventure.
Yes.
When I start to talk to people about, oh, well, I have had this experience, this and da da da, and people, I just watch people's eyes kind of
Yeah.
like,
Things you take for
right?
granted. You're like, oh,
Right,
oh,
exactly. But that's where I'm like, okay, but my work, I have work to do on the planet, and now is the time because what we're talking about at its very essence, which has always been reflected back to me is, you know, how do we bring love
yeah.
into the world?
Yes.
And we certainly, need that now, and I have some ideas about it
Hmm.
that feel like that is the karmic work. The karmic work is to, meet the time that we're in right now with, hey, it's not hard to, it's really, I mean, that's why I like it doesn't have to be hard, right? It
Yes.
doesn't have to be hard to generate oxytocin with yourself and other people and
Right.
be able to live in an energy, a literal embodied energy of tend and befriend,
Yeah.
trust, love, and bond,
Yeah.
in a time of such divisiveness that this is a easy resource,
Yes.
to find. And like, oh my God, my whole life has been about learning about this amazing little molecule.
Hmm.
And,
Yes. No, totally. And I think that that is what is needed. But I think the world thinks that, I think there's a trap of you have to fight fire with fire,
Mhm.
which if you fight fire with fire, one side's going to win and you will win in that moment. But fire only makes the world burn.
Yeah.
No one goes, oh, okay, now that that war is settled, we can move on,
Hmm.
right? No
Right.
one does that. That
Right.
doesn't exist. So how does one and I've thought, actually, I had this thought earlier. What if you, and maybe this is controversial, but I am convinced that a hard heart, right? A cold heart can be moved, right? Is it won't, it doesn't stay there. It only stays there if there's no inertia, nothing acting upon it to change
Mhm.
its motion, right? So if you added the motion of tend and befriend, right? You
Mhm.
added the motion of, you know, softness to hardness,
Mhm.
right? You added, do you know what I mean? So that way you have balance rather than hard with hard,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So if you had someone who the world views as massively problematic, let's say you had someone who was, okay, my mind goes to what I think of the worst, which would be like a super Trump MAGA person, right?
Mhm.
That person in my mind, I know, is definitely pent up. That person is probably pent
Mhm.
up, right? And now let's say that person had control over armies, right? Over the
Mhm.
military or whatever, right? Let's say that person had that kind of control. Do you believe that you could affect positive change in that person's life that would affect positive change in what that person has authority or control over? I don't know.
Um, you're asking me if I think I could?
Yeah.
Um, yes and no. I
Uh-huh.
mean, the yes part is I certainly in my years, especially in working with men,
Yeah.
have had, the beautiful thing about working with erectile function and changes in it is that, it doesn't have a political agenda, right?
Right.
It affects people
Mm-hmm.
all across, right?
Right.
And so we find I've certainly had experiences where on paper,
Mm-hmm.
people who I've invited into my home and offered healing,
Right.
we would be diametrically opposed. But
Yeah.
in this sacred
Same.
space,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there is there is a place where we can both be soft, both be creative, both be
Mm-hmm.
playful, both be um, open.
Yeah.
But I think that's the key, right?
Yeah.
Is that when I'm working with someone like that, they're already seeking,
Yeah.
right? And I think, having had experiences even with like former partners
Mm-hmm.
where the the resistance to here is the love, here is the softness, here is the goddess, here it is for you.
Right.
And their own, whether it's, an attachment issue or an
Mm-hmm.
astrological or a
I mean, it's all
karmic,
the same
it's all
thing.
the same, but
Mm-hmm.
that that they're what I have seen, and this is why I like thinking about it from oxytocin,
Yeah.
from a biochemical,
Mm-hmm.
is I've certainly seen some people whose ecosystem
Mm-hmm.
of their body literally cannot tolerate the experience in their body when their hormones and neuropeptides rise them into that other way of being.
Uh-huh.
That the body itself goes, this is not okay, right? I
Right.
can't, I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't,
I'm
because
out of
if I,
control.
because if I let myself be a little bit, high on love, right? High on pleasure, open, tend, befriend,
Right.
trust, love, bond. If I let that
Right.
in, it destroys my whole worldview. It destroys my sense of self, and I'm not willing or able to do that. So for people who are in that situation where the body has become on such extreme lockdown,
Right.
and they're not like, if you just placed me in the room, I mean, there'd be some change for sure. There'd definitely be some change,
Right.
but it wouldn't be, I can't say like, you know,
Yeah.
we can,
So I guess it's
however,
not that fast, but
right. But if someone is coming to me and saying, I have an issue with my dick
yeah.
that I want to fix,
Right.
and we're using that as an opening to shift has to happen in the body
Right.
in order for that to happen.
Right.
And part of that shift of the body is going to be expanding your tolerance for the chemistry that brings levity, for the
Yes.
chemistry that brings tend and befriend, for the
Right.
chemistry. And so then if the body starts to feel like, I mean, I see this a lot where it's like, oh, the body is now saying, hey, you can reach out and, put your hand on someone's shoulder, and it doesn't mean, like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm violating space or da
Yeah.
da da, da, or,
Yeah.
so, it's, I mean,
I know.
and I also want to say this because I think this is an important piece
Yes.
too, which is, and because, you said, oh, the MAGA, like you're thinking about the MAGA men, but, one of the things I think in our role in Venus and Pisces is
Yeah.
also, I think one of the things that's been so important in my journey in working with men is also to be the voice that says, a lot of women are rough. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of women are brutal.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
women are bitches. A lot of
Yeah.
women are annihilators of men.
Right. Right.
Like, you know, that this idea that, you know, it's gender versus gender, you
Yeah.
know, you can see, I mean, we
Right.
look at the women in the
Hmm.
current administration,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I mean, you know, could we change, you know, your question is like, what if you could you change, could you go into a room with, you know,
Yeah.
the women
Right.
and change
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Because potentially if they changed
Right.
and they're in the room with the other people
Right.
making decisions, but
Right.
that, you know, but they've had to, you know, take on the, you know,
Right.
so that's why I think, you know, where we're moving in general, if we want to
Hmm.
get into like a worldview, where we're
Yeah.
moving in general is going to be, it's not about,
Hmm.
you know, ideology, or maybe it
Right.
is ideology,
Yeah.
but it's more, well, maybe that's what it is. It really is,
Yeah.
you know, is this what you believe humanity is about?
Right.
Or is this what you believe humanity is about? And I don't care if that makes you red or blue or purple
Yeah.
or green or yellow, or if you're
Hmm.
high income or low income or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's, what do you believe we're here for?
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
know, and I think that kind of goes back to, you know, what you were showing me in the 10th house, which is okay, you know, I have to really
Hmm.
now, this is the year of walking my talk again
Yeah.
around both
I
putting
think,
to practice for myself.
yeah, I think the difficult thing with being a king or a queen is you have to tell people what to do. And I think Venus in Pisces wants to serve on this energetic level, right? So it's
Mhm.
almost hard to tell someone what to do because,
Mm,
oh, no, 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 I'll do that for you, right?
mhm.
There's this.
Yeah, I'm feeling more done with that.
Good.
So I don't know. Where does that show up on the chart, on this year's chart? Does it say
Yeah,
done
done
with
with.
done with, I'll do it for you?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, okay, so that's what we'll go to. So right now, let's see, we're that one. We're going to go forward. So now we're going to see
Okay.
this year coming up here.
Okay.
All right. Oh, yeah. 20. It says 113, but that's just because the solar return is when the sun comes back, and it doesn't care what day it's on. It's just
Mm,
what degree was that. So, like, my birthday comes up as, January 22nd rather than the
mhm,
23rd because of where the sun was. Anyway, so this is the chart for this upcoming year. We have Virgo, Virgo rising. That's health centered. I'm thinking about physical health, right? I'm thinking
mhm,
about how can I serve others as well with physical health.
mm,
So it's Virgo is how do I be no how do I be indisposable? Virgo energy is
mm,
how can I be such a good servant that I'm indisposable?
mm, mhm,
And it definitely tends to do with helping people. It has to do with networking as
mm,
well. So you have a Jupiter in the 11th house of friendships and the world, right? We have luck here in the house that he loves. So you will definitely have like breakthroughs with your children for sure. There'll be
mm.
like some good things that happen there, which is like good to know.
Yeah.
And we have, oh yeah. So you're definitely going to be teaching people sexual, romantic, buildable, tangible health, right? Because
Where do you see, how do you see that?
I
Like what?
see that this. So your rising sign, right? The
Mhm,
rising sign for the theme for this next year is Virgo. That is
mhm,
health, that is mental, emotional. Here, let me prescribe doing
mhm.
this.
Is this also for me? Because
Yeah.
I feel like this year I had already kind of also said like this is the year to like refocus on my health.
Right, right. Okay. So, yes, this is for you. It is in so whatever you are learning more about your health will naturally be taught, right?
Yes. Okay.
But yes, this is your health, right?
Mhm,
Virgo health, your mental health, serving you. How do you allow others? And actually, every Virgo rising I know who has it natally is actually quite good at delegation.
mm,
People who, when you go to their house, they tell you what to do. My mother-in-law is one of
Uh-huh.
these. She's a Virgo rising. When you go to her house, she will tell you what to do.
Uh-huh. Okay, good. Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And she's good
Uh-huh.
at business. She's good
Uh-huh.
at business stuff. Other Virgo risings I know do a lot of networking and they do a lot of um,
Hmm.
being chairs of places. So I'm the president, I'm the chair of,
Hmm.
I'm the,
Right.
right?
Right.
Something. I hold some kind of space on some kind of committee. Does
Hmm.
that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of Virgo risings do that as well. So it does have to do with personal health, and then Mercury, right, who rules this. So now I'm going to look at, hey, who's the one ruling your chart, right?
Mm.
Which of the planets is going to be loud, right?
Okay.
And
Yep.
the planet that is ruling you this year, or is giving you a big space, is Mercury, right? Mercury is going to tell your body what to do, right?
Mm.
Mercury is going to help you communicate effectively. You're going to be able to write things. So Mercury, Virgo risings also tend to be readers, researchers of books, or writers of
Yeah.
books. I know both kinds, right? I do a lot of researching on books. I do
Yeah.
writing on books
Yeah.
because it's tangible information, right?
Yeah.
Mercury is the sender, the relayer of messages. I have this message to send. I have this thought to share. I have this idealism to share, right?
Hmm.
Only it's more practical in an earth sign, right? It's
Hmm.
more, hey, that's nice that you have an ideal to share. Can you put it in writing?
Uh-huh.
Can you write it in triplicate,
Yeah.
right? Can you make it tangible so that somebody can look through your book and go, oh, I do this, right?
Hmm.
Like a medical book,
Yeah.
right? Virgo's medical, right? Tangible. Take
Uh-huh.
this through prescriptive. Take
Yeah.
this 3 times, right?
Right. Nice.
And then, yeah, and then because there's a trine here, so we have Mercury in a good flow. This is an ease,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
So you're going to have an ease with sharing these things. We have Mars here, the Sun, and Venus. Oh, look, and they're 22, 23, 25. So you're going to have this combined energy of awareness. So when people see you, they will see someone who is effective at communicating Mars, sexual desire, and how to win,
Uh-huh.
and Venus, how to how to attract business, right? How to attract people who want to build,
Uh-huh.
go-getters, right?
Yeah.
And so, and it's in the fifth house of creativity, of leadership, all that Leo, right?
Mhm.
This fifth house where your Venus, Sun, Mars, and Mercury are, the fifth house has a Leo undercurrent. So we see the 10th house and the fifth house here.
Uh-huh.
You know what else this means? This means that it's the gains. So all the work that you've been doing, now you get to reap the gains
Ah,
of what
okay.
you've been working hard on.
Yeah.
So now this is where that goddess goes, that crone goddess goes. Yeah, I know what's up. You know what I
Mhm.
mean, right? That's where this person goes. And now here's what you need to do to fix it.
Uh-huh.
Here's what needs to happen in order for you to build the success that you want
Mm.
in mental health,
Yeah.
right? Physical health, right?
Is it common to see like the way that everything is so close together on this right side of the chart? Is
Yeah.
that
So this tells me that this part of your chart is going to be most active,
uh-huh.
right? So we have the fourth house home,
Hmm.
right? Doing things from home, and it's Sagittarius. So weirdly, you might find yourself feeling at home. Sagittarius is overseas, but Sagittarius um, is also that teacher energy, that ninth house governing energy. So you might be sharing things from your home, how to nurture,
Mm-hmm.
right? With lust. Sagittarius is lusty energy. Sagittarius is rough house energy. Sagittarius is, oh, I love this other culture
Uh-huh.
and what they do, right? Like,
Mm.
and how does that culture govern, right? It's library, at home in a library, right? It's at home in a, I'm voracious to teach what I have learned about my feelings.
Hmm.
I'm voracious to teach what I've learned about my fourth house. roots, ancestors, right? It's,
Yeah.
I want to teach how to nurture from my depths,
Nice.
right?
Yeah.
In a lusty possible way because Sagittarius is it's half beast, half human, right? It's the centaur. I'm my bottom half is a fucking horse who will fuck anyone, and my top half is a human who goes, "Hey, maybe I should think before I do it." Right? Like that's the energy, right?
Okay.
So yeah, your ancestors, you might have some like dreams,
Mm.
right? You might have some premonitions that come about that teach you. Ancestor women teaching you. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
So super rad. And so fourth house, this has to do with home, right? So something about your home and how you mother nurture, how your habits at home will probably become more teachy,
Mm.
right? Interested in culture. And then we have the fifth house. Fifth house is those Leo leadership qualities, right? Creative. I'm going to build creativity.
Hmm.
I'm going to start putting lists or words to how I know how to lead with children. So the fifth house of children, right? People who have sons here, right, natally, are like Mr. Rogers.
Hmm.
That is a person who was born with a natal fifth house. Disney, Walt Disney, natal son, fifth house. So these are people who deal in with children, how to make things playful, right?
Yeah.
How to
Yeah.
make a playful business, right? How to make a creative, right? Here's how you do it. We make lists. That's what I think of when I
Uh-huh.
think of. We climb up to the top of the mountain, we see where we came from, and then we just document where we came from.
Uh-huh.
That is all it is,
Uh-huh.
right?
Right. Right.
Yes, and you're going to be doing it in terms of you're going to be sharing what has been illuminated to you that has to do with children, creative sensuality, right?
Hmm.
Creative leadership.
Right.
We're going to be having it with Mars and Venus. So Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn. So Mars is going to help you build. Mars is going to sustain you while you are building, while you are making lists, right?
Hmm.
And Venus goes, darling, when we climb, could we do it with silk? Could we do it, please, with music?
Uh,
Could we do it, please, with beautiful
uh-huh.
pens, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes, yes, yes. Let's climb.
Uh-huh.
Can we do it
Right.
while looking fabulous? Right?
Great.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh. Yeah. So
Venus
true.
gives the harmony so that Mars can get the win.
Mm.
So you're going to be shedding light on how to win with creativity in a tangible way just by listing what you've done,
Great.
right?
Yeah.
And we're going to be effective with teaching it, showing on our body, right?
Mm.
Showing my, physicality, right? So our focus is going to be possibly also with children, right?
Mhm.
You might be however all of that comes into play, right?
Right. Right.
Shedding light,
I mean,
right?
it's twofold, right? Because that, I
Hmm.
mean, it's interesting to look at this because I have, on the one hand, I mean, the last couple of weeks I've been like, oh, maybe I should just go back also or include in my work
Right.
all the work I did with children, like
Yes.
early childhood, parents and children together. So
Yes.
there's that
Hmm.
is really living in me, but also, what I've been teaching
Right.
is around how we go back into this childlike body experience and go from birth through the developmental phases as adults in
Right.
order to bring, through play, through sexuality, through sensuality, and reclaim, so
Yes.
many of the people I'm working with, I realize, oh, either you didn't get this in childhood or you had it and then it was shamed out of you,
Right.
right? And how do we, where an imagination? I mean, I just feel like we're in this crisis of lack of imagination right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, so you'll be able to do something creative. Create. The fifth house is no one's seen it before,
Hmm.
right? It's coming from my source. right?
Yeah.
And what can be a source of joy is children when they're little, right? You're like, oh, right? Or your children even later in life where you're like, oh, I love that you thought that. Hell yeah, you
Hmm.
know? Um, but yeah, so
Okay.
this is, and then we have some Aquarius sixth house. This is every day you'll be dealing, we will all be dealing with it, but Pluto gives profound. So you'll be having like profound revelations around ideals around sixth house of health routines in every day, right? So every day you will feel really good if you are speaking up for the rebel,
Mm.
right? Because Aquarius is rebel energy. Sixth house is I prescribe to you, eccentric person, how to transform this predicament by connecting with your deeply sexual self because Pluto is deeply Pluto energy here, right?
Hmm.
So Pluto has just gone into Aquarius. That's the sign of the rebel, right? The sign of humanity, the sign of the world. And Pluto uncovers. So Pluto goes, when I turn this rock upside down and I see the bugs and everybody living on here that was hidden before, do you like what you see or does it need to change? Right? So profound change.
And are you saying that everybody is going through that right now?
Well,
This is like a
oh
universal
yeah, this
time?
is a universal thing, but it's going to be in your sixth house of everyday routines. So every day you will be thinking of ideals, dealing with people's ideals,
Mhm.
and transforming them, right? So when I think of like other cultures, right, we have bar mitzvahs, right? 13. I'm leaving my boyhood and I'm entering my manhood, right?
Right.
Women, bat mitzvah, right? We've got periods, right? I was a girl, now I have a period, now I sex becomes something different, right?
Mhm.
Now sex becomes maybe, right?
Yeah.
And so they are big parts of our life that, so sex is also called le petit mort, right? The little
Right.
death, right? In French, because Pluto represents profound changes and things that change us profoundly are our sexual experiences, right? Our
Right.
experiences to our genitals. What is our
Mhm.
relationship to our genitals, right? What is our relationship shame, right?
Yeah.
So your everyday routine will be something like you'll feel good when you are helping to expose in life, right? In the world's life, right? Um,
Mm.
in a group of people's life, right? Exposing it and then daring it to shed, right? Because it's shedding of skin, right?
Nice.
So you're going to be daring humanity to shed its taboo skin.
Love it.
Right, right.
Right. Right.
What is taboo? Does it need to be that way? Is it helping you to hide
Mhm.
it? Like, really?
Yeah.
Repression doesn't actually work, right? Turns out.
Uh-huh. I
Uh,
had my most recent epiphany. You'll
mhm.
appreciate this. And my most recent epiphany was a lot of what I've been doing over the last years has been trying to normalize the word masturbation, right?
Yeah.
Like, because it's just so laden and so heavy. And, it's
Mm.
hard for people to talk about it, whether they're a provider or a person or whatever. And
Yes.
I just feel like, oh, the more I say, let me just say it all the time. So it's just like saying banana, right? Or
Yes,
it's just
yes.
like masturbation, masturbation. But I'm a word origin person.
Oh, I love those.
And
Yeah.
so 2 or 3 days ago, I was like, well, let me look up the word origin. And the actual word origin is like to defile oneself with one's hand.
Oh my
And I was like, well, fuck, that is definitely not the word that I want to, like I kept thinking like, you know, so I started thinking about other words, like what else is manual lovemaking or like what is it? But I was like, but there isn't anything that fits together as easily,
Yeah.
with it. And I was feeling very like, oh shit, how do I feel about this? And then it was interesting because I so my business or my pedagogy, my methodology that I named back in 20,
Yeah.
not 20, in 2000, no, in 1998 was when I came up with creative body release,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I was thinking about it, and I keep having business wise, I keep having, well, is creative body release the business? Is it the method? Is it the pedagogy? Is it like, what is it, just a journey? And then as I was thinking about masturbation as a word, and I was like, well, actually, I already have it. Like what I teach is creative body release. If you
Right.
need to go spend some time with your body,
Yes.
however, you might have things released through your tear ducts, you might have
Yeah.
things released through your pelvis.
Yes.
It's just allowing the body to have time and space to let go and
Right.
ideally to transform things through pleasure.
Right.
Right. But I was like, oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe what I'm landing in is that creative body release, or CBR, is, is the new word for masturbation.
Yeah. There you go. I
Right.
love it.
That
Yeah.
I'm going to go in the other room and have some creative body release
Oh
time.
my God, I love it. Yeah. How did your CBR go? What's your
I just
CBR, creative body release?
Yes. So
Yeah.
that was my new epiphany, was like, oh, it's the opposite of defiling oneself with one's hand, is to just
Oh, you know what else is interesting too? Like for your chart in particular, your natal sun is in the third house, which is a Mercury underlay, and Mercury, so Gemini, and Gemini rules the hands.
Hmm.
So teaching people how to build,
Yeah,
right, to the release.
to the release.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, and well, and I was thinking too about the piece with children.
yes.
Because what I was known for in my work with children was
Yeah.
making up little, all the little finger plays.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, right.
One little, one little
Uh,
bear comes down the road,
yeah, yeah. Hopping. Yeah.
right? And
It
I'm
feels
like, oh,
good.
I'm still teaching fun with fingers.
Yes. Yes. Exactly, right? And then
Right?
that has that beginner's vibe with it, right?
Exactly.
And
Right.
then you're less triggered, although children can be triggering because they of their honesty, right? You're all
Right.
what? Hmm.
What right now?
Shh.
So authentic.
I know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know you're grown up when that doesn't affect you in the same way, right? You go, oh, right? Because you're bigger. You've had more time,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah.
You're more on your God journey than they are. Or maybe they're actually more on theirs, right?
Maybe they're more on theirs, but
Right? The cycle just
right.
continues.
But how do we get back to that? That's the piece that's so fascinating to me is,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
when I mean, and that's the other piece is how an orgasm, when we're not looking for it as a thing that we think we know
Right.
and are expecting it to always be like this, but when we treat an orgasm the way a, we treat a tantrum,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Which is like, I'm feeling all my feelings and I want to let them out.
Yeah.
And when a child has a tantrum, there's an end, right? And we
Yes.
soothe it and we, and then they go to sleep, right? Or then,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm going to go back to the slide,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I've been thinking about this concept of so how to become like a child again, right? This
Yeah.
idea. And in throughout cultures, to relieve that suffering, the answer is seems to be often forgiveness.
Mm,
So forgiving yourself
mm,
enables you to start fresh,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Right.
It shame can't hold on to forgiveness. I have
Yeah.
no way to hold on to you if
Mm,
you walk in forgiveness, right? If you
yeah.
walk in that, then then it's hard for shame to hold on to you.
Yeah.
I've noticed it's hard for heaviness to hold on to you, right? Because you're like, I have forgiven myself for that
Mm,
perpetually. I remember early days with my really early days when my husband struggled with masturbation,
mhm.
right? He was a pastor.
Yeah.
I'm a pastor's wife. You don't do that. I had to put post-it notes on every comic book because women had boobs.
Mm.
cleavage of any kind.
Uh-huh.
So he'd check a library book out and I'd have to go through it beforehand and put
Wow.
everything over it, right?
Wow.
And we were doing that because we were trying to be the perfect, right? You're
Uh-huh.
trying to be the best version of what you have in your mind as being, right? This pure
Hmm.
person. And then we had this amazing breakthrough one time where I told him he had to like confess to me every time he looked at anything, even
Yeah.
art.
Uh-huh.
And there was this one point where I said, "What if I told you that for whatever reason, I don't care?"
Yeah.
Right? I said,
Wow.
"I don't
Yeah.
care at all." I said, "What if I told you you lived in perpetual forgiveness with me and you never had to ask for forgiveness again because I love you that much for
Yeah.
whatever it is, whatever this thing is,
Yeah.
I'm here. And so it's okay with me."
Mm.
Right?
Right.
In fact,
Right. Bring it.
bring it, right?
Right. Right.
And so then I remember him just blinking and being like, "Oh my God, you're right." Like feeling this sense of
Hmm.
freedom, feeling this sense, you could see the weight lift,
Right.
right?
Right.
I don't have to worry about your being mad at me,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. 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 Well, and that piece, I mean, I see it so often too, that the shame that then that is, I mean, here we are, right? I mean, we see there's beauty all over the world, right?
Oh,
And to hold this place inside of I'm not allowed, I'm not allowed to notice,
I'm not allowed to
right? I know,
notice.
right? Like, I mean, I recently was working with someone where I said, they really had this, they had been shamed
Hmm.
around enjoying the strip club
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
thought that potentially it was, like it was so big. And I
Mhm.
said, and they asked me, like,
Yeah,
is this going to bother you that I'm saying this? And I said, the saying that I like it.
yeah,
And I said, no, I said, let me just be clear, like that, I will never shame you for that. I said, because I come from a world where I know
yeah,
that from the beginning of time,
right, right.
there have been men who have enjoyed watching women dance and women who've enjoyed dancing. Now,
Yes,
obviously, there also have been women who've been forced into
right,
it, blah, blah, blah,
right.
blah. And, that's
Hmm.
all true in history too.
Right.
But if you look at art, if you look at culture, if you look at things that are bigger,
Yeah.
then being able, I mean, I feel like, being able to appreciate what, the divine has created,
Yes, yes,
is part of our messaging. So that's
yes.
beautiful what you're saying. I mean, I think self-forgiveness is a hard, it's easy to say, oh, just forgive yourself. And it's
That's
a
the
lot
part of
harder
me walking my
to
talk,
do,
right? I'm
it's
like,
a lot
oh,
harder to do it. And, I probably forgive myself more than I forgive some people who've wronged me.
I can't help but see the ways in which I do the same thing somebody else is doing. They're a mirror of me. I can't help
Mhm.
but see it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, oh, but I'm not that. I'm like way better. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, well, something in there, or it's meant to be shed, right? But
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So was there anything else
Okay.
let's look.
Anything, you're all. Let's get in these last few
Yeah.
nuggets,
Mm,
right?
so good.
Okay, so the focus is home creativity, like doing
Right.
things from home, creativity,
All right. Sixth
um,
house, then
and
seventh
then
house. Where are we?
yeah, and so fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, right? And so this does put a focus on partnerships, but we have Saturn here still, who gives delays.
Hmm.
And we have Neptune here who gives transcendence. So we are definitely still going to be learning about how to put ourselves first, right?
Okay.
You're definitely
Good.
still going to be in that I'm putting myself first energy, right? Your physical self wants to serve,
Hmm.
right? It wants to do that. Um, and fifth house is sex for fun, sex for pleasure, right? So there is a thing there, right?
Hmm.
Um, we have Jupiter in the 11th house. So Jupiter is an indicator in your chart. It can be an indicator of children and it can be an indicator of like a partner, like a masculine partner, right? So, one, you're going to be experiencing your children being friends, like being a
Hmm.
friend.
Hmm.
right? How do I be a friend and mother? Cancer vibes, right? A friend and woman, right? Cancer vibes. And then also around the places that you're going to be at, right? 11th house is the house of friendships. So um, you might find that there's a friend who starts to stand out
Hmm.
in this next year.
Hmm.
A friend who stands out who um, is somebody you think of who makes you feel good, who makes you laugh, who
Hmm.
makes you,
Hmm.
feel like I want to home with them, right? So that's something that I would say to
Okay.
pay attention for, pay
Hmm.
attention to. You're also going to have, so Jupiter is retrograde, which means that it's internal, right? So you might be feeling it more internally than showing it externally.
Okay.
Um, but Jupiter retrograde is kind of like sharing what you've already learned. This is telling me again and Uranus. So teaching what you've already learned, epiphanies you've already had, right?
Hmm.
Things that you've already gained, right? Now we're just going to be prescribing and building, right? You're going to be prescribing your own
Yeah.
self,
Right.
right?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the seventh house is also has to do with coaching, partnering, right? So you may find yourself coaching or partnering, Saturn vibes. So established structure vibes. How do I help coach you into having um uh Pisces vibes? The
Uh,
meaning of it all,
okay.
right?
Yep. 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 Hmm.
Okay, yeah,
Hmm.
cool.
Yep. Yep.
So that's what that's giving.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
Yeah.
the one last thing that I do want to give some time to
Hmm.
is our transit. So this is you again. We're back to your natal. Okay, this Saturn here, we have a Saturn in the sign of Aries, which means that you are going to have a Saturn return in the sixth house of day-to-day routines. So here's Saturn here, right? That's where it is now. So probably more next year than this year, but it'll be building up this year. Let me go ahead. There we go. Okay, so this year, so 2027,
Uh-huh.
2028. Yeah, here. So it'll be more of probably the end of 2026.
Because
Or,
Saturn
sorry.
returns take it's like a how long of a cycle? A 5-year cycle?
It's a yeah, it's a more than that. 7 years
Uh-huh.
is half, so it's like it comes every 14 years, something
Uh-huh.
like that, or
Right.
every 30 years. So we have our first Saturn return, we're like 29,
Hmm.
30. So then we have it again when we start to approach our 60th year, right? So it's every 30
Uh-huh.
years
Right.
that we have the full on return, right?
Uh-huh.
And so we're going to be having another Saturn return, and it's going to be asking you, is this daily routine healthy for you? Do you
Hmm.
like where you are on your daily routine? Now, Saturn in Aries gives impulsive energy, right?
Hmm.
No, I don't like it. I'm going to move across the world on a whim, right? Kind of a
Uh-huh.
thing. It could be, super like in the moment, which is how you're designed. It's how you're made, right? You are made to be able to quickly establish, right? Quickly,
Hmm.
quickly establish longevity, time, right? Saturn and Aries, right? So Saturn return when it comes back around, which will be closer into like next year.
Hmm.
So this year we'll be building up to it, right? Because Saturn's going to start to go in here, right?
Okay. Right.
So we might have so taking care of your health this year. Remember you're talking
Yeah.
about, and then we have
Yeah.
that Virgo on the ascendant.
Right.
Self-care, self-health is
Hmm.
going to become important,
Okay.
right? So take your vitamins,
Uh-huh.
right?
Establish a good daily routine.
Exactly that.
Okay.
Establish a routine that requires exercise,
Hmm.
exertion,
Hmm.
even if it's like slow,
Uh-huh.
right? right? Because Saturn
Yeah.
wants to go slow, and then Aries is like, let's fight someone, like, oh, who's the victor?
Uh-huh.
So something that is, vigorous,
Hmm.
right? Something that feels good and vigorous, but also slow. So, um, yeah,
Okay.
because Saturn returns go, oh, hey, I have Saturn in the sixth house as well, the same as you. And so we have a tendency to not get checked out because we'll
Uh,
be like, I don't want to hear the fucking bad news. Or I can't afford it. You know what I mean?
uh-huh.
Right? That's the other thing. So, yeah, it
Okay.
just gives like health stuff. So you just want to be doing the best stuff for you now, you know,
Okay. That sounds like that was on my list. All
on
right.
your list. Yes.
Go back to the this year one. Let me just look at it
Okay,
one more
this
time.
year one. So
Mhm.
this year, this is us here. This is our, um, this is the year ahead, right?
Mhm. Right.
So we have us January, right? February. This is gonna be like March, April, right?
Hmm.
So yeah. Ooh, if you can go on like maybe like an ayahuasca, you're doing that like guided meditation, right? Sagittarius is like
Uh,
travel.
uh-huh.
I want to teach something and now I need to test what I think I
Mm.
know,
Right.
you know.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And
That
then
sounds like
in
an April-y type of.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
April-y because we have here April, March, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, in here because and it's in your fourth house of roots, family, home, my
Hmm.
foundations, before the foundation of the world, right? Like it gives maternalhood. So you might
Hmm.
end up having some kind of epiphany. I spoke with my great, 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 great grandmother vibes, right? Grandfather, whoever, right? Like I spoke with someone from the deep and they blew my mind
Uh-huh.
with what they taught me. Is kind of what
Yeah.
that gives. Um, so yeah, January,
Okay.
February, this is like March, this is like April, this is the end of April, so
Hmm.
end of March, early April. And then May, so your May is looks like it'll probably be May and June, might be very busy months for you.
Hmm.
With building business, right?
Yeah.
Or really you're describing the mountain that you're on. I may think about it
Right.
that way. I'm
Okay.
describing the mountain I'm on.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, May, June, and then July here with
Yeah.
routines. July, August, August, September here, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, August, September is when we're going to be having, um, well, they're not retrograde, so I wouldn't say like somebody's
Uh-huh.
returning, but um, we might be having, I think of who's the mermaid, right?
Hmm.
Pisces is I'm a mermaid. Saturn is I'm swimming in reality. That's also delusional, right? I'm swimming through.
Uh-huh.
I'm a mermaid trying to describe what it's like to be a mermaid's partner.
Ah, nice. Right.
How does one describe that,
Uh-huh.
right? So, what's the reality of being the partner to a mermaid, Pisces?
That's great.
Right. Uh,
Then ninth house, what are those two signs there?
Okay, ninth house and 11th house. So ninth house is epiphanies. So reflecting on your epiphanies and teaching those epiphanies.
Mm.
Taurus is Venus ruled. So she is about established, right? How does one make an established comfort, established harmony? How does one make a garden in a place that's prone to earthquakes? Things change,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
right?
Right.
Yeah, so Uranus gives epiphanies on what to do around that. Right?
Yeah.
It's also technology, right? Uranus is high tech, Uranus is finance, epiphanies around how to teach
Hmm.
that make a constant income,
Mm. Okay.
right? How do I teach? How do I do electronics? How do I do high tech? how do I do AI? Uranus also kind of rules the AI plays. What have I already done that now I can use new futuristic ways of doing things
Nice. Yeah.
traditionally?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Eros is erotic nature. So definitely going to be teaching, you're going to have epiphanies around erotic nature,
Mm-hmm.
right? How to teach it, how to embody it, Taurus, how to have it as a resource in you, right? MC, we're in we have Gemini energy with hands, right? Gemini online messaging, local community. So you might be taking the stage in your local community,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we're in that Leo perfection year of teaching. So, and then in your progressed, we have it. Oh, and then Priapus, impotence. So this represents a man who feels impotent to orgasm. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to orgasm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So doing more of that what you've already been
I
teaching,
mean,
right?
that's, yeah,
Like
that's a lot of what has
yeah,
been coming.
like big time.
Yeah.
And then yeah, in community, you will have success in friendships,
Mm-hmm.
right? We'll have success in nurturing, people and friendships, quickly connecting. When you quickly connect with new friends, new people, they will see you as a wealth of knowledge. They will
Mm-hmm.
see you as a leader. They will see you as the god of knowledge, the god of nurturing. Jupiter here is exalted, right? And we have they're in mutual reception. So the moon is in Jupiter's sign and Jupiter is in the moon's sign. So this is extremely beneficial for your home and your sort of moksha, letting things go houses, and then learning powerfully what you have learned from letting things go
Okay.
in order to teach. So
Well
very
then.
it'll be an
Yeah.
interesting year that's very
This,
focused on yeah.
yeah. This
Hmm.
is fabulous to see because it aligns so much with, the trust and faith that I've had about, I mean, ever since, you did my chart,
Hmm.
whatever it was, 3 years
Yeah.
ago, 4 years
Yeah.
ago,
Yeah.
of like, really helping me feel more at ease with pace
Right.
and trusting that the things that I know I have to offer and that can provide for me,
Yes.
that these other things that I've been doing, it's all been paced out. And this is, I mean, everything that you're showing me is
Yeah.
exactly what over these last months I've been saying, this is what this year feels like it needs to be. Like it's time.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see, whereas when I thought that 4 years ago or 3 years ago, it clearly wasn't. And it reflected that in the chart that
Right. Right.
my mind might be saying it's time, but it wasn't really time. And it was easier to be able to go, oh, well, I'm not going to beat my head against the planets.
Right.
Let me
Hmm.
chill out a little bit. And it's nice to see that now things look, especially, I mean, even looking at like that fifth, sixth, seventh,
Yeah.
eighth period
Right.
and I just feel in my body this sense of relief of, oh, it's not saying next month is
No.
when this is, like I still have I have some things still that are important tending
Right.
to be able to go into that period
Hmm.
of action and reflection and putting it out.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
Mars is going to help you build,
Hmm.
right? It's a part of your awareness,
Hmm.
right? In
Yeah.
thinking about it. It is on the lower half here, which means that the focus will be less on you, um, you know, completely being, well, the rulers are up here though. So anyway, whatever. I went into a hole in my mind. But the fifth house is the house of speculation. It's the
Mhm.
house of where you bet on your own creativity.
Mhm.
Right? A leader has to bet that they have a way to go, that they have a way to lead,
Yeah.
right? And so fifth house is gains. And
Mhm.
then the 11th house is the house of good fortune, where Jupiter is for you,
Mhm.
right? So you should definitely see some gains on what you've already worked for,
Hmm.
right? It's like what you've already worked for now is getting a plan,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Right. Right.
And it's happening from, your home. It's happening behind the scenes. But you will have opportunities to be seen because the chart ruler for the fifth house is in the seventh house above the line. And then your moon, that chart ruler is also above the line.
Mhm.
These
And
are,
where is
yeah.
Capricorn in my chart this year?
Yeah, so Capricorn natally for you is in this third house of
Uh-huh.
communication. Oh, you know what we can do? Look at this. I can put the transit. I can put the natal bi-wheel up here. Okay, right? There's the
Mhm.
natal bi-wheel here. So what we have is um this is your natal on the inside,
Mm.
and this is your the progressions on the outside, right?
Okay. Yep.
So we see a lot of things happening for you this year internally, right?
Hmm.
They are in the subterranean.
Yeah.
But in this third house, right, we have the fifth house of gains by what you've already done online, your messaging,
Hmm.
what you've been building, right,
Yep.
in messaging. And then this is local travel, right?
Yep.
So fifth house gains from your local community. So there'll be gains to had from where you're at right now, like where you're building.
So right for this year, my Capricorn is in the fifth house.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, which is a great house for it to be in.
Yeah.
Because it's that fifth house of speculation. I bet on myself, right?
Hmm.
It's the fifth house of leadership. It's the fifth house of sex for fun, sex for pleasure, little
Yeah.
creative children, right?
Great.
So communicating with your children will be a thing.
Well, always.
Um, yeah. Yeah, right.
That doesn't end.
I know, I know. Well, and I think for Pisces people, it kind of doesn't. They can't really run from it because they want to be a hero to their kids, right? So
Mm.
Venus in Pisces wants to be a loving hero
Oh.
to their children, right?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, so yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
highlighted is building, highlighted is home, creative, children, building, health, right?
Yep.
Self-health,
Yep.
mental health, physical health,
Hmm.
um, diving into that.
Right.
And
And establishing the routines,
yes,
you know,
establishing the
which
routine.
I've definitely been underwater. I mean, if they're,
Yeah.
my routines have definitely been the thing that I live in the watery realm of routinelessness.
Yes, that's all this Scorpio natally that you have.
Mhm.
It's water. And
Mhm.
water without a container is a challenge. Capricorn, your earth can hold it, but
Yeah.
um it feels the need to move, right?
Mm.
Nah. But Capricorn needs to build slowly. I walk one
Yeah.
step at a time. That's how
Mm.
we do this. One step at a time. I cannot think about how much I have left to go.
Right.
I can only think about where
Uh,
I've been,
mm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
That's
where
helpful.
you've been is, um, you know, up
Hmm.
that hill. And now you
Yes.
can tell others how to go up that hill. That's what Capricorn is doing.
Okay.
Capricorn's desire is to share with others how to climb where you've climbed to. And now you know where the pitfalls are. Now you're the Sherpa. Now you're the person who
Mm.
goes, okay, I made a mistake right here,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Right.
let's go around that. There's a better path, turns out.
Mm.
If you
Hmm.
just go this way a little more, right? But
Right.
Capricorn's the Sherpa. We're going to climb this mountain. It's going to be tough. There are times when you're not going to eat what you want to eat, and you're going to be down for that,
Yeah.
right?
Right. I
You,
love that.
yeah,
I love that imagery because I really feel even in my mentoring recently, I was talking with someone and I said, because they were trying to figure out, there's always this piece of, what's an educator, what's a coach, what's a therapist, what's a
yeah,
this, what's a that. I'm like, I just say I'm a guide because I'm
yeah.
going to take people on a journey that I've journeyed. I'm not going to,
Yes,
if I can't take you somewhere I haven't gone.
yes,
What I can do is, I have my Mary Poppins bag, I have my backpack, I have my,
right.
things to bushwhack.
Hmm.
And I
But
know I can say, chances are when we get to this bush,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, you're going to want to eat the berry.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, if
Yeah.
you eat that berry, then you get into all the fairy tales. You
Yeah.
can eat the berry, it won't kill you,
Yeah.
but it might make it that you end up having to go meet the witch,
Delays. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And she'll
exactly.
have something to teach you.
Right,
But it may
right.
not, but if you're asking me to take you over here,
Yeah, yeah.
don't eat the berry.
Very right, exactly. Just do what I
Just
say.
don't eat the berry, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, delays, right? How
Right,
to make that berry sweeter in a way, right? Okay, this
right.
berry at this level doesn't have all it needs to thrive, but if you keep going,
Going,
then
right.
there's more sun that way, more water that way, and
Exactly.
this
Trust
berry
me.
vine
Right.
is
Yeah.
incredible.
Right. Exactly. But you have to trust me,
Yes.
and the only way you can trust me is just to know that, like, I have a sleeping bag for you, right?
Yes, yeah.
I have maybe when we make camp tonight, I have a little piece of chocolate stored away so that there's
Yeah.
something special to delight you. But,
Yes,
like,
yes. I
and
mean,
that yeah, and you can say I need to stop and sit on a rock for a little bit.
right. A Venus in Pisces is like queen of like, oh, good news, I brought stickers.
Uh-huh.
Good news, I brought a silky thing. We're just gonna put it on your eyes. It weighs
Yeah,
nothing.
right.
It's gonna add
Exactly.
pleasure, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
A
Oh,
Venus
look,
in Pi-
we're out in the middle of the woods, but look, I brought a garter belt.
Yes. Doesn't that excite you and make you want to
Just,
keep going?
just, why not? It's so light
Yeah.
and easy.
Yeah. You could make anything, right? Even if you had
Mhm.
nothing, you could make the
Yeah.
twigs.
Yeah.
Let me put this on your skin. Close your eyes.
Right.
What do you feel? Right? Like I start
Exactly.
thinking of things I could use, even if I
Right.
had nothing to bring
Yeah.
pleasure, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes. You're a
Okay.
miracle.
Well, this feels aligned, This feels
Yeah.
good. It feels
Yes.
like I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, I know. That's
And
astrology is
that's
just telling you
nice.
kind of like what is happening. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's like, oh, I didn't want to hear that that's what's happening, right?
Mhm.
But if you view it as, okay, that's what's happening and I'm ready for it. Yours is
Yeah.
good though. I'm excited to
Yeah.
hear about this,
Yeah.
how this next year goes for you. It
Yeah.
was
This
better
was
than
good.
last year. I was like, oh, Mars,
I know. Yeah.
not my favorite thing to see.
Yeah. It was rough. It was a
Yeah.
rough year for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, it was good to get through it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And a lot got accomplished that,
Yes.
that needed to be done around house and home and family and
Right.
children and all of that. But,
Right.
I'm excited to bring I've had a crazy journey,
Right.
and I can't pretend that it's something other than what it's been.
Yeah.
That, but what it's been is so unique that
Hmm.
what I can offer as a result,
Right.
I
Right.
think, is what's needed right now. So, and it can be fun. And I think the other piece for me is that I I think I can give myself permission to allow it to be simple,
Right.
right? That
Yes.
it doesn't have to be overcomplicated, that I don't
No.
have to prove something about it through overcomplicating.
No, that's right. All you have to do now is say where you've been,
Yeah.
right? Those your epiphanies are retrograde and your Jupiter's
Mhm.
retrograde. Like you have had epiphanies. You have had, right, the
Oh,
growth,
yeah.
right? You've had it,
Yeah.
And so now we grow
Right.
internally and then we just share what's happening internally.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's I like what you said, use, share too, because
Hmm.
I feel like that's the other piece that I've been, as a businesswoman, there's this, are you paying for my time? Are you paying for
Yeah.
my wisdom? Are you paying for my services?
Oh, yeah.
And which of those things makes me what kind of role?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, what I do with people is I share ideas because
Yeah.
I have a lot of ideas, because I've
So,
had a lot of experiences that have given me a lot of information and ideas. And so this can just be a time for the sharing of ideas,
yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
and then we can be explorers
Hmm.
together, right?
Yes.
Because it's not this is prescriptive and I'm your
Hmm.
doctor and this is what you should do. I don't know what you should do. I have
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ideas based on what you share with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it'd be like yeah, like a Sherpa doctor. The same way that a Sherpa isn't a doctor, but they're a guide, right? That
Hmm.
thing that you mentioned, right? The
Yeah.
guide. You'd be like, this is my best guess, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Try it. Let's see.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Right? I
I
don't
know.
know. Seems
Yeah.
like this seems like this could work.
Yeah,
Try it out,
exactly,
and
right?
if it doesn't, I had a couple people recently who said, oh, I just have trouble. Like sometimes I don't know if I should cancel an appointment if I haven't done the homework. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, first of all, nothing I share with you is homework.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
No.
like it's a suggestion to check out.
Hmm.
And we will get just as much information
Yeah.
by the fact that you didn't want to do it or didn't have
Yes.
time to do it or had a block around doing it
Yes.
as we would have if you did it. So
Right.
never feel bad or guilty because you didn't do something that we both said, maybe you should try this.
Yes, yes. And you observed,
Yeah,
right? You
right.
observed that reaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But we get, so caught up in I'm the teacher, you're the student, I'm the
the
parent, you're the
control.
child,
The
and
control.
am I disappointing you if I don't do the thing? Or will I get
Yeah.
an F for like,
Yes.
nah, fuck that. It's just an
Yes.
idea.
It's just an
Yeah. It's just
idea.
an idea.
It's just an
And
idea.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it can either be
And
magnificent and
yeah,
life-changing, or it can be, nah, that wasn't a good one.
right? But you just got to be down, right?
What was that? Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
an idea.
You don't climb a mountain by not doing it, right?
Right. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
you don't have to know everything. Just
Hmm. Yeah.
well, thank you so
Thank
much
you so much.
for
Thank you so much.
being with me. I always get so much
So
wisdom from you.
I always, I mean, this is just, and it's been such a delight to watch you evolve also in your own, like I can feel today too how your own embodied knowing
Yeah, yeah,
is at a whole different level
yeah,
for you too. Like
yeah,
it's just like the way that you are finding the things
yeah.
feels more from your own knowing
Right, right,
than from the I am learning and knowing
right,
is
right.
different than, I mean, same thing you were saying to me. I have learned
Yeah,
and so I know,
yeah. I've
right?
experienced this enough times.
Right, that I can pull, right? I mean, that's the magic. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
that's a Venus and Pisces thing, or maybe it's something else, but that magic of being able to sit with someone and be able in that moment to freestyle
Yes.
without any fear of it, but just like, oh, it's this, and what you need, the metaphor you need from me is different from the one that I would give to someone else, and
Yes.
it's right here on the tip of my tongue. Like I can meet
Yes.
that right away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
and you would have a
beautiful.
superpower at it because yours is Capricorn. So yours is like, tangible rock,
Right. Exactly.
right?
Okay, let's make this. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, here's a
Tangible is
10.
definitely my key. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's like, I heard a group of people had this ideal.
Right.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
No, I noticed one of the things I've noticed is that my check-in phrase
Mm-hmm.
for everybody, I'll be like da 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 da, and you know me, I'll talk in a
Yes.
circle and then I'll find an image and then I'll do this. But the way I always land is, so does this make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like,
This
does
makes
this make
sense.
sense? Like, if it doesn't make sense, let's clarify it. Don't
Yeah.
nod and say yes if it doesn't make sense. But what we want is it landing in your body in a way that makes your mind and your body go, oh,
Yeah.
right?
Relieved. Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. This other stuff I've been trying to do and it didn't really make sense to me, which maybe is why
Yeah.
it didn't work. But
Yes.
this, yeah, this makes sense. And it's like, it's so amazing how when something makes sense, then the mind and body they just kind of go like, oh yeah, we can do that.
We feel aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah. You help align like emotions in the body, the
Mhm.
feelings in the body with, Is this reflect how you like feeling,
Hmm.
right? And if it doesn't reflect how you like feeling, well, then we swim around,
Right.
right?
Right.
And we go, how about this one?
Hmm.
And you're like, oh my, the temperature is much better here.
Right.
The temperature of the water is so much better here. And you're
And
like,
I only had to move from this cold pocket
yeah,
like an inch over
yes,
to the warm,
yes.
and then maybe over here where a whale peed.
Yeah, I know, right? And then people are like, wow, that is so much better, right? Yeah, where I'm
I
like,
actually like the whale pee spot. It's
yeah,
really
right.
warm.
Is it good for my skin? Other thoughts I have in that. But yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, no, that's what you help to do. To move away from, well, I was born in this, therefore I have to stay in this. And it's like, well, but
Yeah.
you hate it.
Right.
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 Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Oh, I
that's a
love it.
cracking.
I
Thank
love
you.
it.
Thank you. Good.
Okay, we can talk
All
all
right.
day.
I know. And let's make a date. We need to talk because I come the month after you at broadcast. So we
Oh,
should talk
yes.
about if we want to tie some threads together so that
Yes.
people have some kind of continuity of what happens in August and September.
Right. Yes, yes. Yeah, totally. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
So good.
Okay. Mwah.
Mwah, mwah,
I think you're
mwah.
amazing. I take
I
all
think
of
you're
them.
amazing. Thank you,
Go
thank you,
all
thank you,
over.
thank you, thank you. You've made my year already a good one.
Oh, yeah, it should be a
Yep.
good year.
Yeah,
It'll be really interesting. You're getting gains, so I'm
yeah,
excited
yeah.
to see what happens.
Okay, well, I'll pass them along.
Okay.
All right. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.